and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our live broadcast. This is Pastor Kisia Coleman, and I am the founder, CEO of KishKnows Incorporated. I am a certified life and leadership coach, but I specialize in book publishing, coaching, and I'm a servicer. And tonight we have another edition of our book publishing empowerment interview. So I am excited to bring our special guest all the way from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That would be Taylur Holland. And before we bring Taylur on, I want to just go ahead and just allow you all to go down your timeline and begin to invite your friends, invite your connections on Facebook. Share this on Twitter. Share this on Instagram. Let everybody know they can come for a time of empowerment, because I'm telling you, it's really going to bless you. And so we want to welcome Taylur. We got some folks getting on already, Taylur, and they are excited. So we're glad to come on. Listen, Taylur, we want you to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. Talk to us about who you are. Give us a little bit about your background. And as a newly published author, tell us a little bit about your book as well.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Taylur Holland. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I am the oldest of 4 kids, and it's a full household. It's so crazy, all these different personalities, and I really do like my siblings, so we get along really great. But mom and dad raised in a Christian home, and it has just been remarkable just to even see what God has done with our family and what he's continuing to do with our family. Just having the example of marriage, having an example of covenant, having an example of just family. And I have been writing pretty much like all my life, it seems. Earliest memory I have of myself writing, I was about 6 or 7 years old. And I wrote a letter to God, like after my maternal grandmother passed away. And since then, I've just been like for just writing all my life. And I started writing poetry intentionally when I was about 14 years old. So yeah, it's been a journey, and it's just crazy looking over my life through the last 14 years and seeing what God is doing with poetry and how he's using me to write and to stir his people with poetry. So that's just a little bit.
Yeah, that's it's so phenomenal to hear that you have been doing this for 14 years, even though you just became a published author on last year. So yeah. You only look like you're about 14 years old.
I know. I get that all the time.
I'm not going to get in trouble and ask you your age, but I kind of have a ballpark figure. But you look like you're 14 years old, but you've been writing since you were 14. So it's been about a year now when you came out with your book, Come Forth. And so even as the people are joining us and they continue to get on, we thank you for all the wonderful comments. We want you all to get ready also to make sure that you have your questions ready, because toward the end of the call, we're going to give you some valuable information about how to get in contact with Taylur. But we're also going to take some questions and give you some answers to those questions as it relates to not just publishing, but empowerment in general. So now, Taylur, talk to us a little bit about this book, Come Forth. Tell us how that came about, how you were able to publish it. I mean, what made you finally decide after 14 years of honing this skill, what made you decide to go ahead and publish the book?
Okay. Well, Come Forth is not even really my first book. I've been wanting to publish a book since I was like a little girl. It's always been a dream of mine to publish a book. And so last April, I decided I was going to just participate in National Poetry Month. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to share a poem every day in the month of April. You know, I was real just gung-ho. I was so excited. First day I did a Periscope. I let everybody know, yeah, I'm going to share a poem every day in the month of April. By day 2, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I tell these people I was going to do this? But I just decided to just keep doing it. I wanted to stay consistent and be a woman of my word. And so that was a stretch for me, sharing something new every day last year. And it was a conversation that I was having with my parents, and they were just saying like, Taylur, you know, you want to write, just, you know, maybe you can just do an ebook. And I was like, okay, well, by the time I'm done with this month, I'm going to have 30 poems. I'm like, I'm going to have a book. So I'm like, I'm going to publish it. I'm going to do this. Right. So, it still took a little more pushing, some more nudging. So in the month of May, my grandmother, she actually passed away, my paternal grandmother, she passed away. And that was the month of May. And in the month of June, I was just thinking over her life, and I just recalled just how she lived. She was so fearless. And if there was something that she wanted to do, she was gonna do it. Like her mind was made up. She had this resolve. She was gonna do it. And so I was just at work. I was bored at work. And I ended up just writing this poem, just thinking over her life. And that poem is actually the dedication that's at the beginning of my book. And not to sound cliche or whatever, but losing her and just considering her life and just the resolve she had and the fearlessness she had really did push me to just say, okay, you know what, I've got to do something. I've got to do something with this writing. I've been trying to self-publish, it seems like, for so long. Like I've had a book in me since like forever. And like I said, Come Forth is really like my second book. My first book I hadn't published yet. And that was the one that has been that was the one that's been the hard one. You know, that was the one that I've carried for so long, and I'm gonna publish it. But Come Forth was just, I said, you know what, let me just try. Let me just get this stuff out here. I'm just gonna try. We're just gonna see what happens. And it has blown my mind. And so it was just like a series of events. And one of the things that really did push me as well was the prophetic word that Apostle Eckhart released in December of 2015. He talked about 2016 being the year of the Bard. And a Bard, you know, B-A-R-D, is poet. And I just took hold of that word. So that was another thing that was just kind of pushing me. And then it was just like, okay, you know, I got to do something. I can't continue to allow fear to keep me in a stagnant place. It was like I wanted to move, but I was still afraid. And but God just lined it up to where I could finally just say, hey, I got to do this. And so someone has shared your scopes with me back in March, publishing scope that you did on the 8 momentum strategies, you know, for writing and finishing your book and marketing. And so I was like sitting there, I was like, okay, I was so blown away. I'm like, this lady really knows her stuff. I didn't, you know, really know who you were, but you were so resourceful, and you like stayed on that whole thing about making sure your self-published book doesn't look self-published. You talked about the book cover and how it should look so professional. It was so funny, but I could tell that you were a person of excellence. And so I remember just going back and finding your other scopes, because, you know, we had Catch at the time. And so I went back and found your other scopes on publishing, and I was just taking notes, and I'm like, okay, so you were one option, and I had a couple other options. And so I just said, let me just do my homework. Let me do my research. And it just ended up being, hey, I'm going to go with Dr. Coleman, because one thing we have to do is there's a difference between the person of Jesus and the principles of Jesus. And a lot of times, sometimes being like, you know, church people, we only want to say, well, okay, faith, and I'm going to sit here and wait for it to fall out of the sky. If it's God's will, we're too passive. And so it wasn't until I began to move and do my research and implement, like actually working and finding the best route, was I able to get the wisdom from God and know, hey, I need somebody who can coach me through this, because there are a lot of different nuances and different things that I wasn't aware of. And so it's just like, it wasn't until I began to move and do my homework and do my research that I really realized what I needed. And so you were like the best. I'm like, she knows her stuff. She's a woman of excellence. I need some help because I don't know what I'm doing. So it was like, okay, Dr. Coleman, it was the best option. So here we are. And I got a whole book out of the deal. So
it's beautiful. Book cover. I remember when you posted that book cover on Facebook and all of the tremendous responses you got about how beautiful the cover was. And so the cover only was the icing on the cake for the content that was within it. And so, by the way, people, I did not pay her for any of these wonderful accolades. We had a couple of questions about her experience with me, maybe one or two. I think maybe even just one, but our whole focus really is on how she's been doing since she's published her book. It's been about a year now. Taylur, talk to us about some of these awesome opportunities, because it seems as though your status in life has changed since you've become an author, and not just an author, because let's just face the truth here. as you kind of alluded to, there are a lot of people who are self-publishing these days, but not everybody's doing it right. And so what has happened for you as a result of having this quality, attractive, professional book available, and it's the ticket into the speaker's world, but also it's a door opener for you. So talk about some of those opportunities and doors that you have entered since you've become an author.
Yes, since I have become an author, yeah, it really has just opened doors. And I've been able to go and travel and just speak at different places. It is even opened doors in a way where even if I'm just at a place, you know, my initial thought is, oh, I'm just going here to support so-and-so. I'm going here to support so-and-so. And then, you know, somebody will find out that I'm there and it's like, oh, hey, you know, will you do a poem for us? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So there just been different doors and just different opportunities that have happened, and it's really been exciting for me, because it's one thing to write and put it in a book, but it's another thing to really have an opportunity to just express how certain poems came about, or, you know, what was the inspiration or things like that. And it's just been amazing to see what God is doing, like for real, with the written word and with poetry. It's so crazy. Like in April, I had the opportunity to go to an event and speak, and that event was called Discover You. And it was such an amazing event because it just allow people to understand that their story, their testimony, everything that they've been through hasn't been without reason, hasn't been without purpose, and how we really discovered ourselves in a place called Him. And God blessed me to write this poem called Foolproof Plan, and He's still blowing my mind off of that poem, like for real. But it's just been awesome just to go and just talk about Him. Like, I love that. And more than anything, like what has blessed me the most about having a book is that your book is an evangelistic tool. And I've been realizing more and more how my book is a seed. So even if you know, it's great. I love, like, it's awesome that people bless me and sow into me and purchase the book. But when God leads me to sow a book into somebody, like, that is like one of the coolest things ever. And that's what I like really love. And it has opened doors for me to just talk with people. Like, there was one time, it was last November. It was actually the week the book came out. God led me to give a book to a man at the post office. We ended up praying with each other in the parking lot. So I was just like, wow. That's when I really began to learn just how much your book is so necessary. We can't be afraid to write. We can't be afraid to publish, because your book is an evangelistic tool, and it will bless so many people. And that's what I love the most. So.
Absolutely. So really what we found is if you want to publish a book, you have to be willing to leave your comfort zone. So now, Taylor, I want you to leave your comfort zone just a little bit here. I want you to bless us with some of your poetry.
Okay.
So why don't you, I don't know, choose a selection, do whatever you want, but go ahead and give us a little something for those who've never met you before and don't know how awesome you are, because you're Taylor with the U as in unique. We need you to go ahead and just share with us a little bit.
Okay. Let me get it. This is a new poem. Like, I haven't shared this anywhere, so it's not in the book. So maybe it'll be in a book, but this is one that God just started to share with me last week. So I'm gonna read. I'll hope it's not too long. But it's called Stay Close to the Fire. Okay.
Okay.
Stay close to the fire. Don't be moved. Don't be swayed. Don't be shaken, but stay close. Never forgetting what I have done, how I have consumed your enemies before thee and contended on your behalf. I fight for you. I fight with you. What I have spoken over your life shall and is coming to pass, for your life is aligned with my word, and your life will not make a liar out of me. What I have purposed is true, and who and what I use to posture you is just on an assignment I assigned them to. Trust me, this is only for a time. See me through it all, because the day will dawn when I will remove my protection from them, and you will consume them as bread. That which came to destroy you and make a mockery out of me will be the very thing that nourishes you for the journey ahead, for your next place. Worry not and weary not, for I am your strength giver. Envy not and covet not the road of a transgressor, neither the road of your brother or sister. For I am the writer of the stories, and your pages don't fit their books. Stay close to the fire, stay close to me. Stay close, keep warm, and know I am the fire that devours all of your sorrow. I am the fire that lifts your head, the fire that stirs in you hope for tomorrow. I am He, your keeper and your redeemer. Remember me and stay close. Hold fast to me, even in the midst of your pain, because I am there too. I am everywhere, before, behind, beneath, above, surrounding you on every side. I am the orchestrator, the writer of your life's books. Your boundaries and set times I have fashioned and designed. I move mountains and they know it not. So what will be your response as I trust you with this adversity? Will you enable me to help you, or will you shut me out with the feelings that I gave you? Trust me as I trust you to overcome this adversity and succeed. I am building you, stretching you, increasing your capacity and ability in me. I am the light that shines forth from you, penetrating the barriers of darkness found in the deepest of deeps. Stay close to the fire, as my word provides a lamp unto your feet and lights your path to come and find me. Stay close to the fire. Yes, stay close to me.
Snap, snap, everybody, snap, snap, snap those fingers. That was awesome. You have skills, and I hear that prophetic voice just oozing through that poetry. And all through the pages of your book, there's so many poems in your book that are so dead on prophetic and just awesome for the body of Christ, awesome inspiration for the body of Christ. And as you were reciting that poem, there were so many people who were saying, well, this is my favorite, and that's my favorite. So you have some people who have really been blessed by your ministry of poetry. So I'm excited for you, all the many doors of opportunity with conferences, and you started something. It was a bit of a trending thing that took place on Facebook. I believe you're the one that started it. This whole writer's right phenomenon.
Oh my God.
I want you to talk to us about writer's right, because one of the things we have to do is we have to get in the business of doing what we've been called to do. And so we have to put some legs to this talk. We have to put some walk to the talk. It's almost like the scripture, I believe it's in Proverbs. It talks about a dream comes through the multitude of business. And so if there's something that you want to fulfill in life, you have to be about practicing and doing that thing. And so one of the admonishments that you've given us is that writer's right. So how did that all come about, and what took place? How did that just kind of set some folks on fire?
Okay, God is blowing my mind with this writer right thing. Okay, because honestly, it was just something I said on social media. Like I just would want to encourage people to just write. So I just started hashtagging writer right, and it was just something that I was just saying, and it was just whatever. So finally I had an idea. I said, you know what? I want to put that on a shirt. And it's funny to me because that's the first thing I decided to put on the shirt. I wasn't thinking about putting come forth on the shirt, none of it. I just was like, I want to put writer right on the shirt. And really my thought process was, I'm just going to have more product to take with me. Like when I go and travel, or I have a speaking engagement, I'll have some more product to take with me, to go along with my book. And God has literally blown my mind, the response from people. And it was when I finally released it and released the shirts and everything, that's when I began to understand that this was more than just a social media slogan, more than something, just more than a hashtag. It was literally God giving a commandment to the earth. Because this year has really been about, one of the things for this year has been about writers and writers coming forth and just writing God, just writing Him in the earth. And I just didn't realize, this was a global message. This is literally God commanding the earth, calling forth His writers. And He has blown my mind. God just the month of April was so crazy for me because a number of people were preparing for the Write It conference that was happening in Florida. And I just started getting, people were like, hey, well, can I get your shirt? I want to have it in time for the conference. And I'm like, wait, whoa, like time out. Like, where is this coming from? And God, when I tell you God has done it, he's done it. And people have been responding to it. And my prayer as far as writer, whenever people wear the hat or put on the shirt, I wanted it to be something that caused them to, one, remember who they were and to write. Like, I just wanted it to be something to encourage and push people, like a catalyst of sorts to write their book or write the blog or write the magazine, whatever it is, because it's so amazing because the enemy has counterfeits. So just like God has writers and singers and poets, the enemy does too. And people who are being driven by the spirit of darkness, and they're writing their stuff. They're putting out the trash, basically. And it's us over here, the pioneers, the first fruits. We can't be afraid to do what it is that God has given us to do. And us being driven by the Holy Spirit, what more can we do as sons and daughters when we write and release him in the earth? So it's just something to push and just something to encourage. And like the response has been crazy. I was like, what? Like, yeah, God's been blowing my mind. So I'm so grateful.
I love it. I love it. And you know what it reminds me of in the Bible? The Lord would command the Israelites to put his commandments on their head and on their hands so they wouldn't forget it. And so it's really very important, the things that we wear on us, because it's a representation not only of who we are, but it's a confession and declaration, I believe, that we're making in the earth. And so for you to have a T-shirt that's declaring that, I believe that's very prophetic. And so I am just so excited for what God is doing to you, for you, and in you right now. I want you to go ahead and talk a little bit to our listeners about this concept of having a book publishing coach. You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but that entire process, being able to have someone to kind of coach you through the steps. What do you say to someone who says, well, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, or maybe even the person who just decides to take the cheap way out? In other words, they want to publish the book, and unfortunately there's no editing. Oh gosh, God forbid, there's no editing, and the book cover is not appealing. What do you say to that person? Because you mentioned something earlier about how that book is a seed and it's an evangelistic tool, and I thought that was really profound.
Right. Yeah, when we can, first and foremost, when we can get over ourselves and get over the fear of writing and get over the fear of publishing, and we can see the other side, and the other side is literally your book is a seed. So just because it's maybe your first book, it doesn't mean that it has to be thrown together. I've always been a person, I care about excellence. And so it doesn't have to look like it was thrown together. You don't have to just throw it out there because it's like, oh, God told me to write a book and I'm just going to just do it like this. Like, no, you can take your time. You can get wise counsel. You can invest in yourself, because really at the end of the day, your book is a seed and it's going to impart something to somebody's life. It's going to bless somebody. And so for me, when I started really researching and trying to decide which route I wanted to take as far as self-publishing goes, I was starting to look, and I got to one point where it was like asking about like tax information. I started to freak out. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to put here and what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, and I don't want the government coming after me. So I'm like, I'm just having this whole freak out. And that's when I realized, like, God just gave me wisdom. He just let me know, listen, got to get somebody. I need somebody to walk me through this, like for real. Hold my hand, teach me, because there are a lot of nuances. I remember when we first started working together, and you asked me if I was going to have some endorsements, and did you want to do acknowledgments? That was stuff I hadn't even thought about. I'm just like, no, listen, I wrote this book. But it was just other little things that I needed to know and needed to be aware of. And one thing I appreciate about having a coach and having someone who knows what they're doing is that the insight that that you get, and not just from a creative standpoint, but the business standpoint. That's so essential. So it's been things that I've learned from you that I've been able to share with other people and just help them. And yeah, having a coach, having somebody walk me through this was like, it was worth it. It was worth all the time, the back and forth, all the emails. It was worth all of it. And when they hit me with all the book cover ideas, I was just like, oh my gosh. It took me a few days to decide on the book cover. And but it was just so good working with a team that was just excellent and actually cared about seeing this vision come to fruition in the earth. So invest in yourself, like kind of going back to the whole principles versus the person work. Invest in yourself. Don't necessarily take the cheap route. If you're sure that God has given you, has instructed you to write, allow Him to lead you. And he'll make the provision. Everything will work out how it's supposed to. Just follow Him and do what it is that He's telling you to do. So my advice would be, first be sure that this is what God is telling you to do. Trust Him with it all. Pray, and then get to work. Do your research, do your homework. Find out what's the best option for you. Find out exactly what you need, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself, and don't be afraid to trust God with the vision that He's giving you, because at the end of the day, it's His vision anyway. So He's going to make sure His word comes to pass.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one of the things I always tell people is that, excuse me, is that not only is this an investment, but I always tell them, excuse me, I'm sorry, this is an investment. And so you have to be willing to invest in yourself. Taylur, are there any other poems that you would like to share with us on tonight?
Are you going to just put me on the spot again, huh?
Yeah. Do a little freestyle.
Do a freestyle. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Like, you want me to like rap?
Well, see, I've seen that done before. I've seen somebody put you on the spot before.
Yes.
So why don't we do this? Let's get ready for some questions from our audience. If any of our audience has any questions, we want you to begin to put those questions on the screen. We also want you to be aware that if this is your first time watching my broadcast, or if you're not on my mailing list, I want you to go ahead and make sure you opt into my publishing mailing list so that you can get some valuable information. You can go to KishKnows.com/services, KishKnows.com/services. If you've written your book and you want to find out more about my publishing services, let us know like what stage you're in the process. But if you want to just opt in and get the mini publishing series that we have available for you, you can go to KishKnows.com/August 3 interview. That would be for tonight. Just opt in. Let us know how many people came in as a result of Taylur's interview on tonight. Again, that's KishKnows.com/August 3 interview, and you can get that publishing series for free. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Taylur, I want you to go ahead and give some of your information as well. Let us know how we can find out more about your book. You have an awesome website. Last year was great, but you've taken it to a whole nother level. So give us that contact information online.
Okay, you can connect with me online at either thescribesheart.com, whichever one is easier, thescribesheart.com or taylurholland.com. Yes, my website, I had it revamped, started that process last year, and so I was so excited just to do a revamp, because I've had my website since about 2012. So I said, it was time to switch it up a little bit. So again, you can connect with me on thescribesheart.com or taylurholland.com, and you can join my mailing list. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can just find me by my name, Taylur Holland, Taylur, Holland like the country. And yeah, just please connect with me. Go and visit the website. I have a ton of poetry up there, stuff that I've written and shared since I started the site, started the blog like 2007, 2008. So it's a lot of work out there. So please feel free to go and check it out. Join the mailing list. And I'm still sharing new things, new poetry, new posts now. So, and if you would like to purchase my book, Come Forth, you can do it just from the website, or if you want to go directly to it, comeforthbook.com. So yes, go and check it out. Go and check it out. So.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Go order it. Let's support our own. Listen, Taylur, there's a question here. We got some questions coming through here, and I saw a question pop up here. Let me see if I can find it. How long did it take you to write your book? That's from Pastor Natasha from Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Hey, Pastor Natasha. The bulk of the book was written last April, because what ended up happening was when I was sharing a new poem every day in the month of April, I realized that's going to be 30 poems. I'll just, I could just publish this. So you include that month, and then just some of the I added some different poems that I have written. I've written one in December after Apostle Eckhart had released the word about 2016 being the year of the Bard. Like December 20, after that word, I wrote a poem called The Rest of the Remnant. So that's in the book. I wrote a couple in May. And even the title piece, Come Forth, I didn't know was going to be the title piece. That was written, I believe, like in April or May sometime as well. So, I mean, altogether, you can say it was kind of a 6-month ordeal, but it's a collection of poems, but the majority of it was written in the month of April. And so, yeah, you could just say overall 6 months that this book came to life, so.
All right. So we have a question here. I don't know why we have echo going on, but we'll try to persevere through that. So what was the one thing that motivated you in completing your book? This is from Pastor John out of Illinois, Chicago.
Hey, Pastor John. What was the one thing that motivated? Honestly, wanting to conquer fear. When I wrote the title piece, which like I said, I didn't know it was going to be the title piece. The response that I got when I first shared it, the response that I got from that poem let me know. And really, honestly, that poem, I really don't even think I ever finished it. I just shared what I had. It was a memo in my phone, and I just shared it. And yeah, the response that I got from that poem really just let me know that there were a number of people who were standing on the brink of destiny, and they just kind of needed that push out the cave. And that's what I was sensing. And so for me, writing this book, and the reason why I titled it Come Forth, was that was the name of the poem. And I said, every time I go to work on this Word document, I'm going to see that title, and it's just going to encourage me just to keep going. So that was the main thing that just motivated me, was I want to overcome fear. I don't want to continue to be stagnant and hindered because I'm afraid of what could happen. So.
Yeah. I think one of the other things you mentioned too earlier, you talked about how after your grandmother's passing, that was a motivation to do something. You mentioned about how Apostle Eckhart did this declaration. And so sometimes we get to a point in life where there are these situations that happen that kind of catapult us into our destiny and cause us to really do what we've been saying we're going to do. And so I love it how you just responded to the leading of the Holy Spirit. So now we got a couple more questions. And I'm not going to tell you that I've had a few people saying they want you to, because I know they're not talking about me.
Okay, maybe we can flow. Okay,
so you let us know when you're ready. We got a question here that's outside of the flowing arena. Did you face any challenges after publishing your book? Now, that's a good question, because even after the publishing process, there's a degree of warfare that you have to be ready for.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Okay. After that book was published, when I received my copies, when they were there at my house, I started to freak out. So again, it was like fear tried to just come and just shut me out. I don't even know. I don't even know where or why, but I had the books. I had like two books, or was it just a box? I don't remember. My book is small, but I had that box of books, and I had 250 copies of my book right there. And fear just came again, and I really wanted to just go and hide. I'm like, nope, okay, I've been through this whole process. Now, no, I'm good. Like, I don't have to publish it. Like, and it just hit me like really hard. So that was really one of the most challenging things, was just still continuing to go. Another thing was, even during the process, just realizing that this process was still signifying to me that there was so much of me that was still coming forth. And that's why I think that poem that I wrote called Come Forth, I sensed that it was never really finished, because God was letting me know, you're still coming forth. You're still in the process. But he was making me a leader, trying to help lead people out of a cave. And I'm like still just trying to find my own way. But yeah, just learning that I was still coming forth, and just, gosh, having to contend with that fear. Like, I'm like, here's this book, here's this manifestation, here's this dream being realized, and here comes this fear. And I wanted to hide. Like, I just wanted to be like, nope, they're never gonna see these books. They're not gonna see me again. But God didn't let me. I had to just press. I had to. So yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So I keep getting questions about, you flowing. So if it makes you feel comfortable, I'll flow too, but our audience has to promise that they're not gonna laugh, because my stuff is so 90s, so old school. But listen, if you're feeling confident and you just gonna flow, by all means, just flow. But if it's gonna take me having to do something to get you to flow, do a little freestyle, then I might do something. But we want you to go ahead, and we got another question too I want to get to, and then we'll flow a little bit. One of the young ladies asked the question, how did you decide which poems were gonna go in the book?
Okay, the way I decided that, well, it was kind of just easy. It was just like, you know what, everything that I was writing in April and sharing, I say, that's just going to go in the book, because I just wanted to see, really, can I do this? Can this really happen? So I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to put all these 30 poems. That's going to be the book. And it was just other things that was just led to just share some different things that I had, or to put in the book, some different things I had written, like Prophetic Poets Arise. That's like the second poem, I believe, in the book. That was one that I wrote as I was preparing to go into the month of April. And that literally is just a poem, just calling the scribes together, calling the poets together, and saying, hey, do this, write, release what it is that God is giving you to write. Because I had just discovered myself, like, oh, my poetry is prophetic. It took me a long time to really understand that, because I didn't understand a lot of the stuff I would write. But it was just different things I was just led to. The 30 that I released in April, I'm like, yes, that's going in the book. But some of the other ones, the rest of the remnant, May He Sing Over You, Prophetic Poets Arise, I just was like, I believe just God just led me, and just, just encouraged me to go put those in the book. So, yeah, just following His lead.
And they all flow. They all flow. The subtitle of the book, Come Forth, is a collection of poetic insights, prayers, and testimonies to encourage the body of Christ. And so when you begin to read through this book, it's almost like the Holy Spirit is talking to you, literally. As a member, as a believer in the body of Christ, there's admonishments, there's encouragements, there's so many inspiring words. Now, if you're a preacher, you know how they have preachers these days who go online and kind of get inspiration from other people's social media posts, or they look online for their sermons. Well, if you're ever feeling dry, you can get a lot of good sermons. I'm telling you, get a lot of good sermons out of Taylur's poetry. That is how profound and prophetic her poetry is. So having said all that, may the freestyling begin.
Okay. Oh, y'all got me. Oh, okay. Oh, you just want me to start, or?
Well, it's up to you.
Okay. Okay. Are you gonna flow?
Well, we didn't agree. We didn't agree to that. You're gonna flow without me having to flow, right?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you good. Oh, you good. Okay.
If
Okay.
we have to take a vote, then nobody's gonna laugh if I flow, right? We already know you have the flow. You have the new school flow. I have the old school flow, right?
Man,
You should see some of the comments we're receiving. These people
oh,
are hilarious.
they are. Okay. Can I scoot back a little bit? Is that gonna?
Yeah, go ahead. Do what you need to
Okay. Let me see.
do. Oh,
All right.
see, I'm gonna put the screen on me just for a minute. She has to get like super comfortable and relax, right? And so you never know. This freestyle might go all over the world. It might start to trend. Who knows, right? But y'all ready for her to go for it? Just a little bit. Come on, I want some go Taylors. Let's give her some encouragement. We're gonna put it up on the screen so she can know that we're with her. All right, here we go. We got them coming in already.
Okay. Go for it. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Whew, okay. Yeah, and this is another thing, like this rapping thing. I'm telling you, I would just rap just to get stuff out. I didn't know that God was preparing me to do all this. I just didn't know. So, okay. All right. I'm just gonna jump in. Okay. All right. Uh, I remember when I had a broken theology, a messed up psychology, a twisted up terminology that had me believing that I was no longer God's property if I made a mistake or I acted improperly. But I thank God for his sovereignty. I thank God for God and the weight of his glory, his kabod, that changed my very story, reinstated, restored, and enlarged my territory. You could say that he hit me with the Jabez anointing. And I even remember how the enemy tried to abort me, make me forfeit purpose and forsake my territory because he abhorred me. He abhorred me. Hang on. He abhors me. Let me say it in present tense because it's presently his intent to pitch a tent and send his cohorts in to make me believe that in God I can't win, that in God I don't exist. He wants me to turn and twist with every gust and wind of doctrine. He wants me to live divided, shattered, and so condemned. But I thank God for God, who he is, the one who has saved me, the one that even caused the lion in me to be quieted for a time so that I could have a testimony. And now I've been so aligned. See, quiet has never been my final destination. And shout out to Kay Hall, who's been roaring the quiet nation. She's been making sure that we are no longer enslaved and working on this plantation of being broken by the unspoken. But here God is bringing us into a moment, helping us to understand that we've been broken so that we can be open and filled by him, being poured out for a time such as this. He has set this set time, this dispensation of my life, bringing me into a place where I'm no longer in a broken plight, but I've been hidden with the remnant, those misfits, those that were hidden for a time, just so God could get his glory. And now we've been conditioned to only want him. We only want to tell his story. We only want to release him in the earth. I thank God for who he is. He is the one that knows my sorrow, my pain, and my hurt, and he uses it all. He is the divine orchestrator, the one who is my savior, no longer condemned, saved by him. It's only been because of him that I live. I thank God for God, he the Elohim, the supreme ruler of everything, the creator of everything, and he even desires to have his being in me. He has given to me everything pertaining to life and godliness. So if I have everything that I need, then what is it that the enemy can tempt me with? No thing. I'm out.
Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. That's not, come on, everybody. Snap. I mean, you should see all the comments. You should see all the comments. They are so awesome. Somebody said, come through here. Come through here. That was awesome. That was awesome. So Taylur, do you see yourself? We know there are going to be more books that are going to come out. Do you see yourself teaching other people how to flow in poetry? Teaching believers, young people, how to flow and hear from the Spirit of God and hear what God is saying in the area of poetry and using the arts to get God's message out.
Absolutely. One thing is that what I'm learning and where God is helping me to understand is, you know, your gifting can only take you so far, and you really do have to become a master of your craft. And so again, me just being one, I want to become a master of my craft. I don't know all there is to know about writing yet and different things, but I want to master it so that I can teach others. And so, and that God can use me to impart to others and to activate others in the area of writing. One of the things that has happened the most is when people find out I have a book, a lot of them would say, oh, I used to write, or I want to write, or I have thought about writing, but I'm just not, you know, I'm just not sure. And so, so I'm sorry. Got distracted for a moment. But yeah, but I definitely want to teach others to write. I want to activate people in writing because I think that would just be so awesome to do and just awaken that sleeping writer and those who haven't, you know, maybe who have been afraid to write. I really would love to be able to do that and to sow into people and encourage people in that area because God is really using the creative and using creatives to release a dimension of him in the earth. And so just to be a part of that and use the arts to even awaken people outside the church, like, I'm just excited about that. And so, yeah, totally want to be a part of that.
Yes, yes. So, real quick, tell us a little bit about what you do. I know you're kind of like in the financial market. You don't have to go into detail about your career per se, but what are you doing right now? What do you see yourself doing the next 5, 10 years down the line?
Well, what I'm doing right now, like you said, I'm in the financial and like the compliance consulting side of things. And what I'm doing right now, it's mainly just helping, you know, with just compliance, getting companies regulated. And so that is definitely not my end result. I know that for sure. But 5 to 10 years from now, I definitely see myself just continuing on the path of an entrepreneur. And being able to travel and just speak and just go and share and activate people in the area of writing. And of course, I want to publish and release more books and different types of books. So it won't just always be poetry. It's just going to be whatever God is leading me to do and leading me to release. So yeah, I definitely want to take the road of the entrepreneur. Yeah, like business and freedom, like free. So
listen, you know, we have someone on. Her name is Crystal Songbird Jordan. Cool name. You know, do you know this person?
No, I don't.
Well, she says she wants you to be on her gospel
album. Okay, we can talk about it. Hey, Miss Crystal.
All right now. All right.
Connect with me.
Yes. Give your information again, Taylor, so she can connect with you for real. Crystal, we want you to put your information up here too, because I'm going to stalk you. Now that you have my broadcast and you put that out there, we're going to make sure this happens. You got all her tribe on here. We're all gonna make sure it happens, Crystal.
Oh, y'all sure are. This tribe here. Oh, okay. No, to connect with me, you can go to my website, TaylurHolland.com, or you can type in thescribesheart.com. You can find me on Instagram, here, of course, on Facebook or Twitter, just Taylur Holland. I also have a YouTube channel, The Scribe's Heart. So just feel free to, just connect with me, email me, info@thescribesheart.com. And let's stay connected.
Yes, and yes. So listen, we have here an awesome accolade here from Pastor John out of Chicago. He says, you are truly a pen that is equipped to write and impact the world. Taylor, I don't know if you're ready for what God is about to do in your life. You think you're ready?
I'm ready. He's just surprising me. I'm telling you. Yes.
You know, I feel like TD Jakes right now. Get ready. Hey, man, you never never know. And see,
Right.
had you not freestyled, had I not put you under the pressure, this beautiful songstress who's coming out with an album would not have known that you flowed so
Yeah.
eloquently. So I am so bad. And you know what? Don't forget about us. Don't forget get about your tribe. All these folks that are on here. Don't forget about the Kietas and the Tazettas, and don't forget about us now.
I'm not. I can't.
You
I
say
cannot. No, I cannot.
Listen, do you have any words of encouragement you want to leave with people? You know, even if it's not dealing with writing a book, just doing whatever's been in your spirit to do. For 14 years, you had been writing those poems before you even published. And so there's so many people, I believe, who are walking around carrying babies that they need to give birth to. It may not be a book. It may be something else. Go ahead and talk to us, Taylur.
For everybody walking around with a treasure, that's what it is. You first have to understand that the gift that's in you, the dream that's in you, it all belongs to God. So there's going to come a time where He is going to come knocking, and He's going to be ready for that dream of His to manifest. So see it as that. Don't see it as a burden. Don't see it as something to run from. Don't see it as something to be afraid of. It all belongs to God. So just give it back to Him. Whatever the gift is, whatever the dream is, whatever the vision is, give it to Him and trust Him with it. Because I did not know, like I said, for a long time, I really didn't have a definition as to who I was or even what my writing was about. And God will allow you to just operate just inherently, just things that He's put in you. And later sometimes comes the definition. So it was just, this has really just been a time of discovery. So just continue to just seek after God and trust Him with it. Like I said, it all belongs to Him anyway. So just be willing to give it back and know that as He's platforming you, He's just trusting you with something. He is allowing you to have access into certain places. There's a whole harvest of people with your name on it. So as you give that gift back to Him, He's going to make it so plain to you why you've been through what you've been through, who you've been called to. He's going to make it so plain. He will reveal you to you the more you seek after Him and trust Him with what He's put in you. So yeah, just be encouraged and give it to Him.
Wow. Awesome. You are such a tremendous encouragement. So many people are being blessed by you. And you know, one of the things that I noticed that as you began to take on this new role as a published author, you have begun to meet a lot of people on social media, but it's almost like a family has been formed. So there's so many opportunities that are outside monetarily, that are outside speaking engagements and doors being open. But talk to us a little bit about this new tribe of people that you're surrounding yourself with, and how has that helped encourage you in this direction that you're now going as a self-published author, as someone who's aspiring to do more and birth more? How have these tribe of people kind of helped you do that?
Wow. God has blessed me. When I asked God for right and righteous relationships, like He did it, and He's still doing it. The people that He's connected me with, and I absolutely love it because He did not give me bums. He did not bless me with, He didn't give me no vagabonds, no bums, no scallywags. Like He straight up blessed me for real with kings and queens who legitimately desire His heart. They're not looking for a name. They're not looking for a title. They just want Him. And that was an answer to prayer. And then God had the bodacious audacity to give me people who dare to push me into destiny. Like when I tell you, these people, like, they push me, they encourage me, they say, Taylur, do this. They do stuff like what you just did, put me on the spot. Like, we see what's in you, we're gonna draw it out, we're gonna pull it out, like for real. And that has been some of the most remarkable things because I'm learning something different from each of them. They're all people of excellence, and a lot of them are in places that God knows, like, that I'm going in that direction. And one of the things that I've been learning and really understanding is you have to connect to people who have been where you are because they understand where you're going. I can't talk to people and try to be in covenant with people who are, who have no vision and who have no insight and who have not talked to God about me, who, they can't tell me, they can't counsel me and what it is God is doing in my life because they haven't been where I am or where I'm going. So I just thank God for who he has hemmed me with. And I mean, what I love about these people is that they're not so great and grand and so wonderful that they're inaccessible. Like, they have reached for me, they support me, and it like blows my mind. And it really does make a difference when you are doing life with people who are just seeking after God and going after him. And this is just a testimony. Like, honestly, because for a while I was like, man, forget people. Like, I was like, nope, God is just gonna be me and you. And he had to teach me balance. He was teaching me, Taylor, you can have them and have me too. And he's at the core of these relationships. So it's been one of the most like beautiful things, and it really is a family, and we push each other, we support each other. Like, something happens for them, I'm excited like it's happening to me. Like, it has been so remarkable, and it's just truly love, and it's truly a picture of God's kingdom. So yeah, it is blowing my mind.
So we always end that declaration and confession. Certain seasons in your life push you to birth in a book, but also your surroundings, your connections, your tribe, your squad. Being around like-minded people is what's going to get you to birth that book. And so I believe everybody needs a midwife. They need someone who's cheering them on. They need some folks who are going to help them do a baby shower. They need some folks who are going to go to Lamaze class with them. And so we need to make sure we surround ourselves, whatever it is that we have, that God has given us, that we have conceived from the Spirit of God. We need to make sure that we have people around us who love us, who's going to tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly, and help us birth our promise. And so I want you to be encouraged in that on tonight. For all those who are viewing, whatever it is, whether it's a book, whether it's a business, whether it's a ministry, you have to be open to having like-minded people. You have to be open to having people who are further along than you are, just like Taylor mentioned. Taylor, now think about this last question. We're going to get ready to come to a close, but what did you discover about yourself during this entire process? Because one of the things I always say, and that's a pretty deep question, but one of the things I always say is that when you're writing a book, it's not so much about the book as it is about the person you become. If you do the process right, there's a change. There's something that happens. So tell us, what did you discover about yourself? Or what's something that came out of this process that you didn't know was going to happen?
One thing that I really discovered about myself is that I am a leader. As much as I've tried to blend in, stay in the background, no, God made me a leader. And so that just being reconciled to that identity, that has been one of the most monumental things that came from this process, and then everything that has transpired since then. But being reconciled to the identity that God had already put in me and birthed in me. So it took writing this book and being called out and all of that just to really just know, yeah, I'm a leader. So
yeah, that's awesome. So what I really love is the fact that you're honing that, you're declaring that, you're letting that out of your mouth and into the atmosphere. And so I am so thankful for all of you all who joined us tonight. This has been such an exciting time. I mean, it's raining here where I'm at in the Chicagoland area, and you're down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But we got folks that are on, and they're so excited, and they've been giving some wonderful comments. But we're going to have to close this out. You know how they say all good things must come to an end? And I was able to get out of that whole flowing thing. So praise God. Listen, I want you to tell us again, how can we find out more about you? How can we contact you? And how can we go and order your book for all those first-timers who are out there?
Okay, you can connect with me on TaylurHolland.com or thescribesheart.com. And if you would like to purchase my book called Come Forth, there it is. You can go to comeforthbook.com and it'll take you right to the page to where you can, get an overview of the book and you can order it. It's $10 and I'll send you a signed copy. And you can also get the book from Amazon, from Barnes and Noble. It's in ebook format, print format, so you have plenty of options. But if you would like a signed copy, just go through comeforthbook.com. And yes, please connect with me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, just Taylur Holland, Taylur, Holland like the country. And yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So now, Taylur, I want to tell you, and now that we got some of our other authors that have come through KishKnows on, I know we got Candace on, and I think we got Kieta on, and we got a whole slew of authors that I know are going to be here in September. You know what I've been thinking about? I've been thinking about throwing an authors party. I don't know how long you guys are going to be here, but I've been thinking about maybe, if you have enough time. I know a lot is going on at that time. Sophia's awesome conference is coming up, and it'll be during that time that you all come. And I'm like, how can I really be a blessing to these ladies? So I was thinking maybe we can get together. I'm going to email you guys and see how your schedule is, and maybe y'all can all come over my house and eat up all my food or something. But just a wonderful fellowship together. I would love to have all of you all over. So listen, I want you all to go ahead, make sure if this is your first time, Kennedy wants to, we didn't announce that your book is available on Amazon, right, Taylur? It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. So make sure you go and check it out there. But we want you can order directly from her. And if you order it directly from Taylur, she's going to put a signed copy in the mail to you. You never know. You might even get you a prophetic word for all y'all who looking for a prophetic word. Like download a little something from her, right? But I'm putting you on the spot there again. I give my people for prophetic words, and it's a lot of blessings that come out of that. So we want you to go ahead. If you have not signed up for my publishing list, go and check me out. You can sign up if you're first time hearing about us tonight. Your first time hearing about us is tonight. Go to KishKnows.com/August 3 interview. That'll let us know that you came via Taylur's interview, August 3 interview, KishKnows.com, August 3 interview. And then if you've already completed your book or you're almost done with your book, go to KishKnows.com/services. Now there's just a brief survey there for you to fill out. KishKnows.com/services. That'll let us know where you're at in the process, and we can send you some information based on where you're at in the process. And then, of course, we want you to make sure you go and check out Taylur's book. Not just check it out. Again, we want you to order it. So make sure you do that. But I want to thank you once again, Taylur, for joining us for this edition of our book empowerment interview. You have been an awesome guest.
Thank you.
I want you to come back on maybe before the year is out. I think we can do something where we can have a few of us on at a time. I'm not for certain. I don't know. My tech guru here said we can have 3 people at a time. So by that time, Kieta is coming up real soon. Maybe we'll have you, Kieta, and Candace get on, the whole posse, your tribe, right? We'll all get on, and maybe we'll do something as an encouragement to everybody to do what God has called them to do in this season. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. We thank you once again, and we hope you join us next time. Make sure you're part of our publishing list so you don't miss out on any of the wonderful things that we're doing with these broadcasts. Thanks again, Taylur. Blessings to you. Have a good night.